Here are the deadliest animals from every time period in Earth's history. Around 390 million years ago, long before dinosaurs even existed, the oceans were ruled by something that would make your worst nightmares look cute. The Aecolopterus was a sea scorpion. And when I say sea scorpion, it's not the tiny little thing you'd find under a rock at the beach. This absolute monstrosity grew to over 8 feet long, making it the largest scorpion to have ever existed. Imagine you're swimming in the Devonian seas, minding your own business, when you see something moving through the murky water towards you. It grabs you with its 2 massive claws and rips you apart like a rotisserie chicken. Now here's where it gets worse. This monster had compound eyes like a fly, which means it could see in basically every direction at once. So that plan you had about sneaking around it? Yeah, forget it. The Aecolopterus could see you, track you, and catch you from pretty much any angle. It was the apex predator of its time, and nothing in those ancient seas was safe from it. But as terrifying as a giant sea scorpion sounds, things are about to get even worse on land. Fast forward to about 260 million years ago, and life had finally crawled out of the ocean and onto land. Great news, right? Wrong. Because waiting on land was the Gorgonopsid. And this thing makes modern predators look like house pets. This creature was about 10 feet long with a massive head, powerful legs, and saber teeth. We're not talking about cute little fangs. I'm talking 5-inch knife blades sticking out of its mouth. The Gorgonopsid was built like a tank with the speed of a sports car. It could run down pretty much anything in its environment. And those saber teeth weren't just for intimidation. The Gorgonopsid would bite down on its prey's throat or spine, and those teeth would slide right between the vertebrae like a key in a lock. Instant death. Highly efficient and extremely horrifying. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but at least it's extinct, right? Sure, the Gorgonopsid went extinct during the Permian-Triassic extinction event, also known as the Great Dying, which wiped out about 96% of all marine life and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species. It was the worst mass extinction event in Earth's history. And honestly, good riddance to these nightmare-fuel creatures. But the extinction of the Gorgonopsid just made room for something even more terrifying to take its place. Welcome to the Cretaceous period, about 110 million years ago, where we meet Sarcosuchus, affectionately named Super Croc by paleontologists, and trust me, that nickname is well deserved. This thing was an absolute unit. The Sarcosuchus could grow up to 40 feet long and weigh up to 8 tons. For reference, that's about the size of a school bus with teeth. A school bus that could swim, had armored plating, and actively wanted to eat you. Sarcosuchus had a long snout, filled with over 100 teeth, and unlike modern crocodiles that mostly eat fish and the occasional unfortunate mammal, this thing straight up ate dinosaurs. Paleontologists have found evidence that suggests Sarcosuchus would lurk in rivers and lakes, waiting for dinosaurs to come down for a drink, and then it would launch itself out of the water and drag them under. The death roll technique that modern crocodiles use? Yeah, Sarcosuchus invented and perfected it. It would grab its prey, roll violently to disorient it, and drown it, and then proceed to rip it apart. And just when you thought crocodiles couldn't get any worse, let me introduce you to something that makes Sarcosuchus look like a cute little gecko. Alright, so remember when I said the ocean kept evolving and creating worse nightmares? Let me introduce you to Mosasaurus. This behemoth lived around 66 million years ago, right at the end of the Cretaceous period. And it was the undisputed ruler of the ocean. We're talking over 50 feet long, weighing up to 15 tons, and it also had a mouth full of interlocking teeth designed to grab and never let go. But here's what made Mosasaurus truly terrifying. It didn't just eat fish. It ate everything. Giant sea turtles, giant sea appetizer. Other marine reptiles, main course. Great white sharks, snacks. There are fossils of mosasaurs with bite marks from other mosasaurs on them, which may suggest these things were so apex predator that they'd even eat each other. Mosasaurus also had a double-hinged jaw, kind of like a snake, which allowed it to swallow prey almost as large as itself. Imagine swimming in the ocean, minding your own business, and suddenly a 50-foot reptile surfaces from the depths and just swallows you whole. You don't even get the privilege of being chewed, just swallowed straight into the stomach like some basic pill. The scariest part about Mosasaurus, though? It was built for pursuit. Unlike ambush predators, Mosasaurus would actively hunt you down. It had a powerful tail that propelled it through the water at high speeds, and it could dive to incredible depths. There was nowhere in the ocean you could hide from this thing. Scientists believe that Mosasaurus had excellent vision, so even in murky water or complete darkness, it would find you. It was basically a heat-seeking missile with teeth, and you were the target. Mosasaurus went extinct with the dinosaurs when that asteroid hit Earth 66 million years ago. And honestly, that asteroid might have been the only thing powerful enough to take it out. Now we're jumping ahead to the Pleistocene epoch, about 2 million to 11,000 years ago. This is when humans were around, walking the earth, trying to survive. And one of the main reasons survival was so difficult? The short-faced bear. This thing was the largest mammalian land predator in North America during the Ice Age, and it absolutely terrorized early human populations. While standing on its hind legs, the short-faced bear could reach heights of up to 12 feet tall. That's taller than most ceilings in your house. It weighed up to 2,000 pounds and had incredibly long legs that made it one of the fastest bears to ever exist, capable of running up to 40 miles per hour. For reference, Usain Bolt's top speed is 27 miles per hour. You could not outrun this thing. Not even close, not even possible. Unlike modern bears that are omnivores and will happily eat berries and fish, the short-faced bear was a hyper-carnivore, meaning its diet was at least 70% meat. This thing actively hunted large prey, including bison, horses, and yes, early humans. Imagine you're an early human hunter-gatherer. You've just killed a mammoth after days of tracking it, and you're celebrating with your tribe. Then you hear it. A low growl from behind the trees. You turn around and you see a 12-foot-tall nightmare bear charging at you at 40 miles per hour. What are you gonna do? Absolutely nothing, because you've just become dinner. The short-faced bear went extinct about 11,000 years ago due to a combination of factors, including humans, leading to its demise. But if you thought a 2,000-pound bear was the deadliest animal to ever exist, hold on, because we're about to take a very sharp, very different turn. Now, we're going to skip ahead a few thousand years because what's happened next makes 12-foot-tall bears look adorable. Let me tell you about the brown rat. This unassuming little rodent is responsible for one of the most devastating events in human history, the Black Death. Between 1347 and 1353, the bubonic plague swept through Europe, Asia, and North Africa, killing an estimated 75 to 200 million people. That's between 30% to 60% of Europe's entire population, wiped out in just 6 years. How did this happen? Well, the brown rat, or more specifically, the fleas that live on the brown rat, carried the bacterium Yersinia pestis, which caused the bubonic plague. The rats traveled on ships and in caravans along trade routes, spreading the disease wherever they went. Once a rat died from the plague, its fleas would jump to the next available warm body, which was usually a human. The infected person would develop painful, swollen lymph nodes called buboes, hence the name bubonic plague, followed by fever, chills, and then death within a week. The problem was that medieval cities were absolutely overrun with rats. There was garbage everywhere, and sanitation was basically non-existent, making the rat problem even worse. The funny thing is that people had no idea what was causing the plague. Some thought it was bad air. Others thought God was punishing them for their sins. In reality, it was just rats and their fleas doing what they do best, spreading disease. The brown rat literally changed the course of human history by killing a third of the population. But as horrifying as the plague was, there's one animal that has killed even more people than the Black Death, and it's still killing people today. The deadliest animal in all of Earth's history isn't some prehistoric monster with razor-sharp teeth. It isn't a giant bear, and it's also not a plague-carrying rat. The deadliest animal to ever exist is the mosquito. That annoying little bug that buzzes around your ear at night and leaves itchy bumps on your skin is responsible for more human deaths than any other creature in history. Mosquitoes kill an estimated 700,000 to 1 million people every year. The Black Death killed 75 to 200 million people over 6 years, but mosquitoes kill that many people every few centuries, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. Unlike every other animal on this list, mosquitoes don't even have to try. They're just doing their thing, sucking blood to feed their eggs, and accidentally killing millions of people in the process. Mosquitoes are vectors for some of the deadliest diseases known to humanity, including malaria, yellow fever, and the Zika virus. Mosquitoes have been around for over 100,000 years, which means they've been killing things since the time of the dinosaurs. They've survived the asteroid that killed the Mosasaurus and the T-Rex. They survived the Ice Age that killed the short-faced bear. They survived the Black Death that they helped spread. Mosquitoes are the ultimate survivors, and unfortunately for us, they're very good at their job. Humans have tried everything to eliminate mosquitoes. We've used pesticides, insecticides, mosquito nets, genetic modification, and even lasers. And yet, mosquitoes are still here, thriving and still killing hundreds of thousands of people every year. So while we've managed to avoid giant sea scorpions, saber-toothed tigers, super crocs, mosasauruses, and massive bears, we still can't escape a bug that weighs less than a grain of rice. Perhaps, with this knowledge, it's time for humanity as a species to stop worrying about the useless problems and start doing something actually productive and meaningful about the real problems in society, such as hitting that subscribe button. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.